Hi, I'm Josanne Wright Callender, the author of the Happy Little Garbage Truck Picture Book and Educational System. We've been talking a lot about overcoming fear, having courage. All of these things are important as we, as teachers, educators, and parents, help our children overcome some of these social, I guess you could say, pratfalls or places where we can hit obstacles to our thinking and things that keep us from growing and flourishing as people because we want our children to be good people, to be able to think critically, to be able to move into new situations without feeling fear. So we ourselves have to emulate that person to the children that we're teaching and modeling our lives for. Because children will watch us, and if they see anything in us that they feel, oh, this is the way I should be, it's even subconscious. It's just the way it is. And I've found that to be true the many years that I've taught. So, it's in developing courage, which is our topic, one has to, what one person, I guess it was Mary Kay, said to fake it until you make it. But there are actual structures behind having a better level of courage, which is why I love this article by Z. Hereford. It is called Live a Life of Courage. And these days we need to have courage and courageous thought in order to do many things that in the past would not have seen the courage factored into that. So, and as I'm talking, I know most of you are thinking about the pandemic and the COVID situation. And yes, we might have a lot of things externally impacting our lives, but we still have to act with courage. So Z. Hereford, she stated there are 5 parts of living a life of courage. We've talked about just dealing with fear head on. Number 2 was developing a willingness to develop courage. Number 3 was noting how courage looks in others. And that's through the media, books, and real life examples. And there are so many of those. And I talked about the ex-football player, Marine, who caught the child out of the burning building, which really impressed me. But the 4th step is starting the process. And I've been on this step for a while because starting sometimes is the hardest thing to do. But we were talking the last time about people operating in the comfort zone. This is the cozy pajamas, sitting in front of the TV, not getting out and looking for that job or taking the next step to elevate oneself because, we know that we can, but we just don't because we're fearful. So that just starting the process is the huge thing that most of us have to confront most of the time. And the comfort zone is the easy way out, basically. It literally puts our minds to sleep. It keeps the circuitry of our brains from developing new, innovative ways of connecting thoughts. And, as I looked into that and thought about it, it seems like the comfort zone actually gets locked into a routine and reminded me of this psychological term that I ran across when I was in college. And it was what I had been taught was the Water Jug Effect. And I hadn't thought about that in years. But basically, years ago, long time ago, this psychologist, Abraham Lukens, I believe his name, did an experiment where a simple solution of filling a water jar was introduced to the participants. And they had to they had 3 jars. One had to be filled one time. The other one had to be filled up 2 times. And then the second time you pour it into one of the other jars. And it was like this complex way of making the final jar full. But they were doing this very complex series of maneuvers and then came back another day where the jars were changed. And they didn't realize that one jar was the actual amount that they needed. So they were going through all of these different machinations. And what they assessed this was the rigidity of thinking. They had found a solution. They were still doing things the same way, even though there was an easier way. And then I found out that I found that the term was the Instalung effect. And just recently, I found that Instalung is German for mindset. So, this rigid way of thinking, just, I'm now evaluating things that I do. It helped me reflect on my standard operating procedures. Was I doing things just because it was easier to do it that way? Was I stuck in a convenient mode of thinking? Could I think outside of the box better or for a more effective solution? Um, and then sometimes fear keeps you from changing the way you're thinking because this worked in the past, should work now. Maybe there's a better solution, but you don't know about it until you try something differently. But when we change the way we think, we change. So, my challenge is to step out of your comfort zone, promote the growth of your mind and mindset and character. And who knows, we might find an opportunity in the unknown too. And this opportunity is actually a time for us to develop ourselves, become more courageous and innovative. So, I'm going to be challenging myself this weekend, and I hope you are too. So, thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe, please share, and keep thinking innovatively and not comfort in the comfort zone. Thank you. Bye bye.